to Miss Bermuda dressed up there, and you notice that there's a fan in the background. It's the only fan she's ever had, but there it is swirling away.
Thank you so much for building up my confidence.
Yes, how to
We don't
impress.
really need the fan. I don't know how to turn it off. I don't even know why it's on because it is actually cloudy here today. It hasn't been brilliant.
No,
It's
it hasn't.
one incredibly wet morning where I
Yeah.
was like biblical rain of sort of like a bit like Noah and the flood. Horrific. And I haven't seen rain like that since I stayed in Singapore, where every afternoon you're up to your knees in water.
Yeah.
It's still, as I said earlier, we have 4 seasons here. So it's still very like British spring,
Oh,
which is fine. I mean, it's fine.
and you've
It's a
not had
lovely
your
break.
cosy on, have you?
I have not. But never mind. I think the weather is better in England than here, to be honest. I think they've had no rain since I've been here, and I fly in on Monday.
Yeah, but
It'll
it's
start
been
raining
cold.
then. You wait. I'll land at Heathrow, and down will come the rain.
Yes, yes. Listen, we think we've got problems with the weather. Nothing like the weather that Sir Keir is experiencing, but he's getting his just desserts. And I'm sorry, we've done one of our deep dives on you, Sir Keir. You ain't got many friends. I nearly said you ain't got any friends, probably nearer the truth. And it's chaos in the Foreign Office, the Home Office, among the civil servants. And of course, we all heard Ollie giving his dissertation, and he came out as fairly genuine, a lot more genuine than the PM. And certain things really hit me then. And it was about the number of people that are being bullied. Now, nobody's mentioned this.
Mm.
The word used by Ollie himself, Sir Ollie, was he felt a pressure to
Mm.
do things from the top. Now, that
But
is
what
clearly bullying.
well, of course it's bullying, but what gets me is he wasn't in position when Mandelson was appointed.
No,
He wasn't in position. So why is he gone? He wasn't part of that, what was called a process, which I don't think was a process. It was a case of, what I've seen is find an effing job immediately for him, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got the situation with Doyle. He was supposed to be appointed as something or other, another one who had links with paedophilia. I'm beginning to call the Labour Party the nonce party because it just keeps happening and happening and happening. It within their organisation, and also the way that some of the judges are doing terrible sentences on paedophiles over there now. It's absolutely outrageous. I was listening to Prime Minister's questions, and I don't know how. Well, I suppose I do know how because he's a narcissist. How he can stand there and blatantly lie and blatantly deny in front of harsh questioning and go over and over. Now, yesterday, or the day before, I think it was, when I can't remember when Kemi Badenoch, I think it was the day before yesterday, he was clearly rattled and angry. And then he didn't turn up for the next day's thing that Kemi Badenoch, I think there were about 23 people in the chamber, wasn't there? But I mean, it is outrageous. I have never known anyone that has caused so much damage to Britain in the shortest space of time.
yeah.
And it's very sad. I just hope that somebody can turn it around. I mean, people are rising up. I mean, Manchester last weekend, had thousands of people on the streets wanting to claim back Britain. It is happening. People are turning. I mean, you've got the Epsom thing where nearly every night there's some protest. And then all the stuff with Crowborough, with the migrants there, that is now becoming a problem, like we knew it would. It is an absolute, excuse my French, is a total shit show.
Basically, what we've got here is a guy, and this is according to his stepsister, couldn't tell the truth if he tried.
Exactly
And it's
right. I
not a
mean,
one off. You can easily say, oh, well, somebody's got a bit of a gripe against him. Everybody's got something to say. This guy is a wrong un.
He is a wrong and I think I don't know whether I've said it on your show before, but several years ago, I think but I can't remember. Several years ago, I was invited on like a round table thing with him, and he wanted to do a victims' rights white paper because of what had happened with going in court with yeah. And we'd had three meetings, all was going well, and all of a sudden he evaporated. No courtesy of I won't be here anymore. We wrote to his PA, nothing at all. And I can remember saying at the time, do you know what? I think he's wants to be head of the Labour Party. He's going everywhere, tied to the coattails of Jeremy Corbyn. And I was right. I was right. And he just disappeared. No victims' rights bill, no nothing. Not even a courtesy to say, I've moved on. He just, because something better came along. Dreadful. He's a
Other
dreadful
things
man.
that we're finding out, of course, is that, and this may sound a bit strange, it's not. The guy's a declared atheist. That's okay. That's his privilege. We live in a free country, or do we? But it does influence you when you've got a twisted moral compass. I mean, he's non accountable.
Mm,
If you're, as an example, a Christian, you're accountable to your God. And
absolutely.
there is a moral compass. But when
Yes.
you've got none, and he clearly hasn't any, he can do what he wants and have no
Yes.
conscience about it.
Well, I was listening to some of the Mike Graham show this morning as well because he had the barrister Stephen Barrett on. I don't know if you're
Yes,
familiar with him, and
I
he's
have
got long
indeed.
hair and all of that. He is incredibly articulate and actually has such a command of the English language. He's quite comical, but he actually called Starmer a morally degenerate. And
Yes,
that is correct. That is exactly what he is, morally degenerate. And he was saying when you've got someone like that, then it is just going to be disaster. And as you rightly say, he's atheist, which means he won't have any moral compass. Do you know, I feel sorry for his kids. I mean, how much, because they're all at school. What on earth must they be going through with their friends? I mean, I can't believe they're not being bullied. I
but
mean, it's
the whole thing is godless. I mean, the
yes.
fact that the abortion thing has gone through,
Oh,
the easiest place in the world to have an abortion is the UK when that finally goes through. And of course, the euthanasia bill, that again, it's going to be so easy for anybody to. And while we're talking about this, we've just had something come through from Canada who are experts on this. And sadly, and it's equally so, can I say, in Holland, where a guy particularly, he's feeling sad and he's feeling low. And instead, and he's only 21, and instead of his friends and medics helping him out to overcome a blip in his life, it might be a big blip, no, they've got rid of him. It suits them. Now, if you've
well,
got a mental health problem, even though it's feeling depressed, that's what will happen under the thin end of the wedge theory. It's not a theory,
so
it's practical.
so he was offered euthanasia, was he?
Yes,
Well, if you think of my own situation with my own mental health, when I knew my children had been sexually abused and 19 years of domestic abuse, I was suicidal. I was on enormous amount of tablets. They would have said that to me, and I would probably got at that time gone
yes,
along with it because I was so depressed. I was so depressed. That's dreadful. But yes, you see, these are things that I was having a conversation about this, the abortion thing. My son-in-law is a lawyer, right? And he said, "Oh, I don't know whether how that one slipped under my radar. I didn't know, but when they looked it up, because my daughter's because she's of her job in communications and PR and all of that, she looked it up and she said, "Well, what it actually is, Mum, is I don't understand what the difference is between criminalizing something and something being illegal. I don't understand that. Why is there a difference? But apparently, if a woman goes 40 weeks and something happens, she will not be criminally liable. Although it's illegal. Well, surely if it's illegal, it's criminal, isn't it?
You'd have thought so, but the law is that complicated and has that many codicils.
And they,
Get out.
I just, I do get, I try and hide away and listen to the news over here because they had a friends round for dinner the other night, and I was saying, you are sat here. There was like 2, 4, 6 of them. You are sat here telling me about the country I live in. You are Brits. You don't live there. You fly in and out to a posh golf course and back again. You live along the Brompton Road, and you think because you're English, you know what England's like. You don't. You have no idea what it's like. You don't see it because you come in at Heathrow, you get an Uber to where you live in somewhere like Kensington, and you go out again. You don't see what's going on here any more than if I were to sit at this table and tell you about Bermuda. I wouldn't dare do it because I don't live here. And the reverse is true. You might be born English, but you do not understand living there. And I had to get up and leave the table because people have no idea.
No, lots of opinions, but nothing in reality.
Oh yeah, they don't. That I'm, I'm a bit of a firebrand. I'm not. I said I'm just saying. You want to look at the English media and see how upset people are.
Yeah.
Across the whole of the country. You need to live there, not in Kensington, but go out somewhere else, take yourself off somewhere else, go down to Crowborough, nice little Sussex, go to Epsom, see how they're feeling.
And it's not only the lies, it's the total incompetence. And none of the
Absolute
rest of the
incompetence.
world can understand why we have got
Absolutely right.
so many riches in gas, in oil, in shale, and we don't do anything about it because Uncle Ed Miliband has got this theory, and that's all it is, that we're all going to die. So they can't understand it.
I mean, God help us if he became Prime Minister.
I don't think there's much chance of that.
Well, I jolly well hope not. I mean, I just think it, just wrap the whole thing up and let's have a snap general election.
Well,
and then your fear is, what if the Green Party got in? Oh my Lord.
yes.
There
Well,
was a guy campaigning the other day. He had long red hair, dressed up as a woman with a bright green dress on, but was a man. And the question was, what would you do if you answered the door to this? I said, I think I'd get the men in white coats to come and take him away.
immediately. Yeah.
But I mean, it is just horrific. I don't understand. Well, I do understand why the king can't do something about the whole thing, but he's not
This is
interested.
the
So
time
over here,
when we need a king to be a king.
but he's not, is he? He's woke. I mean, he's coming to visit Bermuda on the 2nd of May. Thank goodness I won't be here.
Yeah. You'd have been one of those. Not my king, would you?
I never thought I would be. When it was would have been the Queen's birthday yesterday. You remember loads and loads of photographs of her that Princess Kate and William put out, and lovely, lovely photos of her with Princess Anne and all of that. And you realise how missed she is. She must be turning in her grave.
Yes.
At the way England is, but also the way her son is as a king.
Yeah, she got out at the right time.
Yes, quite right.
We
And I
move
think
on.
that's probably why she stayed so long, really. I think she probably knew he was incompetent.
Yes.
Princess Anne would have made a better replacement.
Indeed, she would. Immigrants. We move on to immigrants. So the facts and figures are coming out. 1 in, 1 out. Really?
What a joke.
Let me give you the yes. 498 out, 26,000 in. What a joke.
I mean, it was never going to work, was it? We knew it was never going to work.
Yeah.
And still nothing. Did I see? Now, who is it? Somebody put some figures out that was up something like another 650 odd came in over the weekend on boats.
Well, Belgium's now being provided as a problem and money. So it's not only the French that are getting nearly £1 million for doing nothing, they won't even get their feet wet, but now Belgium are receiving money on the quiet from the British government.
I mean, you just can't, you can't get your head. I mean, what is it now? Someone put out on X, they saw these boats arriving and said, coming to your town soon. I mean, but I just, it's just so awful. I mean, when I saw these photographs in Crowborough of these men sort of hanging around, and it's just awful. I feel so sorry for them. And Epsom, and you've got, there's this two-tier policing for sure, because when you see these police there with riot gear, people in Epsom are not rioters. They are very intelligent, nice people who are rightly frightened for their women and girls.
Yes, it's
They're not
shameful.
throwing bricks and eggs at the police or being, it's absurd. Absolutely absurd.
And Miss Mahmood, get something done about it, because you're a good talker. I see nothing getting any better.
Nothing at all. And then so much for inclusivity and inclusion. Now, where was it? Somewhere in London, there's houses, landlords are putting up Muslim tenants only. Well, you can't do that.
Well, under
We can't
the
put up
exactly
no Muslim. We can't put no Muslims.
under
That
the
would be discrimination.
2010 Equality Act, that is illegal. You switch
Exactly
it
right.
round and think of a Brit white person, they'd be in jail 10 times by
Exactly
now.
right. Exactly right. So if you ever wanted to see a perfect example of two-tier living,
Yes.
it's that. It is completely illegal. They won't do anything. Somebody was arrested over the weekend for preaching the gospel outside somewhere or other, and was arrested and taken away. Meanwhile, at the weekend, where they were only like something like 400 meters away from a mosque, hundreds of them praying on the streets. And then there was a mosque.
Whilst
There was a
in the
mosque that
average
housed about
mosque,
2,000 of them, only
Yeah.
up the road from them.
yeah, and whilst in the average inverted commas mosque, they're preaching hatred and caliphate, in other words, treason,
Yes,
and
yes.
nothing again is done about it. Right, we move on to another problem. This time Spain, who've got an equally loony, where we are, left-wing government, and they need no more persuasion than an EU directive that says, well, when people come in on holiday, you've got to make sure that they can sustain themselves for a fortnight on a holiday hotel, at a holiday hotel. Well, yeah, well, they've paid for it in advance. Of course they are. They'll leave after 14 days. Not like Britain, when you can leave 10 years later. But you get the next flight back when the holiday's over. But they're being deliberately awkward. And they're putting you through this border control. And if you cannot prove that you've got a considerable amount of money at home, wherever in a bank account, they can refuse and do entry. Now, this is lunacy, because Spain depends
Yes.
on tourism, especially British tourism. But you've got the same problem as in England, when you've got these ideologues in charge, Russian native communists. This is what happened. These are Marxists on the left of any socialist party. Exactly the same problem as we've got in England. Now, who wants to go and wait 4 hours at an EES machine in an airport to have his fingerprints and her fingerprints put in a machine that will break down halfway through? Then you'll have to wait another 4 hours getting a human being. I mean, are these people potty? No, they have got an ideology, and they take it to extremes because they can. Because Europe hates Britain. They've broken the sacred code that we're all in it together. We shall all worship at the altar of non-democracy. And as we keep saying, you and I, when you hit people and say with the simple phrase, why do you want to go back into the EU when you can't vote? It's completely undemocratic. I have
Absolutely.
never had a satisfactory answer to that question.
That's exactly why Starmer wants it, because he doesn't want anyone to vote or have an opinion. He wants it to be completely autocratic. That's what he wants.
Yeah,
He has no, his aim, whoever is telling him in this, because I saw something else the other day as well, is that who is controlling Starmer? I put out on Twitter, well, the civil service, the blob. But he is intent on ruining Britain.
yes, he
That's
is.
it's not going to go, because his desire to break the UK is stronger than his any form of accountability to to do what's right for the UK and for the electorate. But what irritates me is his MPs should by now have done a vote of no confidence.
Yeah, it's coming. The problem is a little more nuanced, and we go back to this, to Sir Ollie's speech, and we say and think, hang on, when the names come out of people in the situation, usually in the civil service, they're all called Sir Ollie.
Yes.
Now, it's a nice club, isn't it, to be called Sir? Why should we have so many Sirs there? This is the deep state, as the Americans would say, or the blob, as the Brits would say. They're all, as we keep saying, in it together. Now, some are more culpable than others, and some of them have career opportunities and they try to be independent. But whether they are not the civil service, it is a cosy place to get your knighthood, isn't it?
I mean, it's. I just, oh, I don't know. I just despair, really. I just think if your interest in the electorate and the country should be profoundly at the top of your list. Despite, I mean, and I think this is what happens. I think a lot of MPs, say the new ones that are not used to it, they think, "Oh, I'm going to go in and I'm going to make a difference," and then they find when they're in it, they actually can't. They're swallowed up in the whole corrupt regime. And I mean, Stephen Barrett was saying today, it is a corrupt government. It is corrupt. It absolutely is corrupt. And you've only got to look at also how who in their right mind would allow a huge Chinese embassy to be built right next door to the House of Parliament? Who would allow that? And and again, as you say, he's an atheist. There is no godliness in that man at all, or what he does. There's no sincerity, sincerely insincere. It's just, it's so, it's not just depressing, it's actually incredibly upsetting when you see what he's done to Britain. And I've seen a lot of people now bringing up on X again, more and more, exactly what I said ages ago about Enoch Powell.
Yes, yes, indeed. I'm going to cheer you up now. And there's been a new discovery in food. We've always thought that having a big juicy steak every day is no,
No,
it's
no,
not.
thanks.
Well, actually, it's good for you. And they changed it because they are getting into the steak and seeing what's in there. And apparently, you've got fantastic nutrients, including iron, including zinc. All your B vitamins are in there. And if you're having steak, well, nobody wants it every day, but a lot of people would like it 2 or 3 times a week. It's actually good for you. Always good to balance it with vegetables, of course. But I'll tell you what is bad for you when we're talking about steak, and that's the cooking of the meat. Now, I'm sorry to disappoint you, and I disappoint myself. Steak, you do it very quickly and you leave it a little bit rare inside, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
tender
definitely.
and tasty. But if you get the cooking wrong, i.e., char grilling it, if you wish, or like a barbecue, sizzle, 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 sizzle at a very high temperature, that is what they call, back to the word char. It keep well, it causes a chemical reaction with the
Oh, yeah,
meat
right.
that
Yeah,
don't do you any good.
yeah.
And it brings it into the scene of preservative meats, which are, of course, and I'll read them, hot dogs,
Ugh.
bacon, she loves the bacon, sausages, deli meat, pepperoni, salami, jerky if you're American. Why? Because they are full of nitrates, and other chemicals which preserve the meat, and they are definitely not good for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't. So with salami comes things like chorizo, does it? And a lot of these deli meats that you get.
Absolutely.
And what
And
about the Parma hams and that sort?
chorizo, well, Parma ham or Serrano in Spain is generally cured in an open environment
Okay,
over quite a number of months. That's less likely to do you damage as long as it's cured properly without the nitrates. The nitrates, of course, are there to prevent bacterial growth,
right.
which may be better for you than the nitrates. I mean, in the old days, we used to preserve everything by salt or smoke,
Yes, true.
but
That's true.
smoke, they
Oh, yeah,
say, is
yeah,
wrong
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, unfortunately, I don't like, I'm not even a fan of sausages. I like bacon where you can almost snap it. I like it so you can, yeah.
Everybody
Bacon
likes
butties,
bacon, but it's whether it's
bacon
good for you.
butties.
Well, don't go over the
Yeah,
top. Once or twice a month is quite all right.
yeah, that's right. But everything in moderation, Rodney, you see?
Well,
Everything in moderation.
yes.
I have been in, no, I haven't had one of their dark and stormies yet. Have you ever had one of them?
No.
Dark and stormy. Uh it's the drink of Bermuda. It's like
Ah,
rum, dark
oh,
and
yeah.
stormy
Well,
rum, and you put lime juice with it. And what else did you put with it? I can't remember, but yeah, I haven't had one of those yet. Yeah, and they do a swizzle thing as well. I can't remember. The dark and stormy is, I should have to bring that. I'm not really a spirit drinker, but I will have to bring some of it back for some
well,
friends.
don't forget rum is delicious, but full of sugar quite often.
I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I haven't even had a gin and tonic since I've been here. It's not which is lots of wine. But I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's just like G&T is like a nice thing to have on the patio when it's sunny and hot, and it hasn't been sunny and hot.
What do
So
you pay for a red wine over there?
an average bottle of red wine, an average one that you would get in Aldi for sort of £4.60 or something. You're talking of 24 US dollars.
Oh my Gideon, we get it for a quid in old
No, oh,
money.
I know. You can get, yeah, it's cheap as, but no, it's because absolutely everything has to be imported.
Oh well,
Everything.
if you can put up with it in Tetra Brick, one of those plasticized paper squares that you can pay 80p, and it's not rubbish
Oh,
either. Yeah,
yeah, no, it is extremely, I mean, even an average wine is, you get a really nice one, and you're a really nice one, you're probably talking of $70.
my goodness
And
me.
that's not like a Barolo or anything like that. That's even more. It's ridiculously expensive here. I mean, I went through the checkout the other day, and I literally had just laundry products for my daughter, just laundry stuff, dishwasher stuff, washing up liquid, toilet rolls, um, kitchen roll, air freshener, just stuff like that. And the bill was $300.
Wow.
It's, I mean, I just try not to look at the, I mean, it's horrendous. You can't really live here with a nice life unless you've got serious money.
Perhaps that's what they do it for. They only want the knobs.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yes, because I don't know. There's the thing about. I was talking to my daughter about fuel prices. Well, fuel prices here have hardly gone up because, of course, fuel for them comes in from America, and the Trump is drill baby drill, isn't it? You see, so. But there is this thing that I don't know if it's still, but when I got on the flight to come over, there was this thing that with oh, I can't remember what they call it, the home, what is the home, something whether that bit of water that's Iran is messing around with,
Oh, the
that
Hormuz
by,
Strait, yes.
that's it, yeah, by like the half term, would they have enough fuel for a lot of the flights? And my son-in-law said, "Oh, they will for Bermuda because there'll be wealthy people that come here, so they're not going to. They're going to make sure that British Airways have got got some
Do they
fuel
have
for their plane."
electric vehicles there like we do everywhere else?
Some of them do. Some of them do.
Oh,
Yeah, some do. But no, it's extraordinarily expensive. I mean, it's something like a punnet of an ordinary punnet of strawberries uh would cost the equivalent of 10 or 12 pounds. It works out at a pound. It works out at a pound of strawberry.
well, we have 4 crops a year now, summer and winter in Spain, and they cost buttons compared with that. And they're very good for
It's
you,
a
by the
real
way.
eye opener. It's a real. I mean, I'm looking forward to not the the Easter thing that everyone has over here, which is a fish cake in a hot cross bun with mayonnaise. It doesn't. It's
Horrible! That is awful.
gross, gross. And you can buy these delights at the local petrol station for $12.
Yeah, no, they can keep
I
that.
just can't imagine it. My daughter spent 4 years absolutely refusing to eat one. And then she did last year and she said, "Actually, Mum, you would be surprised. It's really nice. I'm gonna have to try it before I go back." But I'm
Oh, thank you. Listen, we go from one disgusting feature to the Royal Navy. Not that there's much left of it. And of course, we heard the stories of the fact that we can't, because of international law, and our great Prime Minister can't even think about boarding a Russian ship, even if it comes up the Thames, it seems. It's
unbelievable.
practically there because it's coming past Dover and Calais, and we mustn't breach international law. And it's okay because we had one of our boats accompanying them, and that controls everything, according to Mr. Haley, Defense Secretary. It's turned the Russians back until one looks at the supply vessel that was accompanying them, manned by civilians. I mean, this is a mockery. We are
Oh,
an island. We've got to defend ourselves,
it's just embarrassing, isn't it? I mean, it is just embarrassing when you have to ask France to help you or
which
Germany to help you
happened
with.
because of
It
the
is
destroyer.
just
Yeah.
awful. I mean, you're sitting here with an open door, inviting to be attacked. I saw also yesterday or the day before that, and I don't blame them, that a lot of people are leaving the SAS because their job is to obviously fight and kill. That's what it is in the military. Because they're all being tracked down. Anybody that's in the military tracked down for I don't know, crimes against humanity, is it, or whatever. You're in the blooming forces, the military. How can you? It's we're not going to have any decent people soon at all. I mean, and who's going to go in the military? Who's going to want to sign up for them now? I mean, a lot of the Gen Z group aren't going to do, are they? They're not. They're not going to, fight for their country. That mentality is gone.
No, we don't do that. We want to see an end to all wars. Yeah, well,
Exactly.
you can see an end to all wars when you leave Iran alone. Let them develop their nuclear fuel, and that will be the end of all wars.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yes. What about the
But there's no
school?
end in sight there, is there? You see, yet again, I don't think there's an exit strategy.
No, there's no entry strategy either with this lot. I say that because in Scotland, they've decided to give everybody, young ladies, a rape alarm. Now,
Oh,
if that doesn't alarm you to the situation that exists because of
exactly.
illegal immigrants, what does? Now, these are to stop, in the first instance, stalkers, and there's nothing worse than a young lady being stalked, the fear going through her.
Yeah.
So there's a rape alarm. But I say that's good, but where's the police
Well,
alarm?
exactly so. Exactly so. I mean, it's just it's awful. I mean, I mean, there were some children, teenagers on the tube this morning, um, and they filmed this guy, right, sitting on the tube, masturbating while he watched them. I mean,
Uh,
unbelievable. What these scumbags are doing is absolutely awful. I mean, you
well, do
can't.
they do it in their original country?
Probably, yes, that's the thing, isn't it? I'm sick of seeing as well, time and time again, one after another going, oh, Sharia law, we're allowed to rape, we're allowed to do this, we are allowed to, we're told we can do it. Well, I'm sorry, you can't. Check out the law before you come in. I don't understand why we're not just sending them back. It's just, it is such a mess, and I can't see, even when he's gone, who's going to come in place of Starmer, probably worse. I can't. I just can't see the next. And I think someone said the other day to me, it'll take 10 years to put this right. And I think that's about right.
Yeah, I heard somebody yesterday shrugging their shoulders and saying, and an important person, it's going to be 3 generations before we can sort this lot out. I hope
If,
he's wrong.
well, I hope he's wrong, but that's if it, how are you going to get rid of all these people? How are you going to get them all out? I mean, this it's easy to say you'll be out and you'll be sent back. Well, yeah, and what about, and somebody raised, I think, with Nigel Farage, and what if the country aren't going to take their people back? What then? What are you going to do?
Yes, there's that point. Oh, well, we'll get Rwanda going. Well, Rwanda's not that big to take endless people, but
No,
as we keep
but you're
saying,
going to have you must have the same problem in Spain with them allowing like 500,000 people
well,
in. It's
we've been sending them
ridiculous.
back here for years. We put up with them. Sorry, put them up for a week in a prison, wash them, shower them, give them a medical, and they go back on the next boat.
Oh, really?
Yes,
So you
and
do right. So
then
you
you
do
got
the
this
human
lot.
rights thing.
Well, then you got this lot in power, letting in over 1 million. They say, "Oh,
Dreadful,
we've got to
dreadful.
regularize 500,000 of them." No,
So
it's 1.2 million, and it's not the way to do it.
so when do you have your elections?
Next year here.
And what's that looking like?
Well, it's difficult. We're in a very complex society. It really is governed by the older ladies.
Oh,
See, beware of the older Spanish ladies. And
Senora.
they never change their vote. So there is a chance, not a big chance, that they'll vote for them in again. Heaven forbid.
God.
Which takes us into King's College, London University, who are now telling their lecturers to ignore students' poor grammar in diversity and inclusion. Yes, one lecturer has actually said the grades should be adjusted for these people because they're not of our culture. So not only have they get free dentists, free doctors, free iPhones, free everything else, when they enter the examination room, they get easy marks and can go to an employer which is cheating and saying, there's my degree. couldn't write the script, as we
You
keep
couldn't
saying.
write. You truly couldn't write it, could you? You couldn't write. You're absolutely right. You could not write the script. It's utterly awful. Absolutely awful. I mean,
And to rub salt into the wound, it has been revealed this week by some, I think it was a Dutchman that did, because they were into the slavery thing, like many countries in the world. And of course, everybody's seeking reparation. They have actually found out, and it's true, there were more white slaves in the difficult period than black
yes,
slaves. Now, why,
yes.
folks? Do we deserve reparation? Of course we do.
Exactly right. I wasn't aware of that. And when I read it, I thought, well, how interesting. How interesting. Because everybody thinks it's the black people when it wasn't, and there was more white slaves than that. That's been well hidden, hasn't
Yes,
it?
no
Yes.
longer we're out there. I hope you're listening, Sir Lenny Henry.
Oh God, don't. I mean, that man, I mean, yeah, he's gone quiet lately though, hasn't he? He's like, and
Surprise,
I don't know if
surprise.
you saw featured his David Lammy sat there on the front row. What a clown he looks.
Well, I mean, he's just like the dog on my back shelf of my car. All he
Exactly.
can see
Right.
is this.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Oh, and did you see the exit of Lee Anderson from the House of Commons the other day?
Dear old Lee. I saw as well, of course, Ms. Santana, who said far worse in actual fact, but only she relieved of her seat. She's got to stay out of the Commons for quite a few weeks. At least Lee will be back in there pretty quickly. He was a bit more
I honestly,
circumspect.
I thought it was brilliant. I know you're not allowed to say you're a liar, are you? But he did
No,
see, but he did see.
even
I
if
just
it's
was,
true.
he couldn't even lay straight in bed. Honestly, I couldn't stop laughing. It was just so funny. But I mean, the thing is, it just makes people. It's making ordinary people behave in a way that is, it's just, you can't contain yourself.
Well, it's
People are so
exasperated.
frustrated and so irate. You can't contain yourself in your opinion. You can't. You really can't.
But
It's
what
just
about
awful.
Waitrose? We've got to go. It's time has passed, but we can't go without mentioning Waitrose.
What have they
Of course,
done?
well, they're very woke. Waitrose always have been. Of course, they've sacked a very good shelf fitter, stacker rather, who's actually tackled one of these idiots
Yes.
stealing from a shop, shoplifting. Oh, you'll have to go because you're not supposed to do that. And blow me down, a manager of Morrison's this week has got the sack because he's
Yes.
done the same. There is an
Yes.
answer to this, folks. Don't support these woke shops.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. And did you also see a GP has been sacked because he couldn't hear what his patient was saying because of all the garb around her face? And he asked her to remove it because he couldn't hear what she was saying. And he's lost his job.
Yes, and any decent doctor will insist on seeing your face
Of
to
course you
see
should.
if your
You
eyes are good, whether your lips are the right colour, and
absolutely
many
right.
other things.
Absolutely. I know my doctor used to say you used to see so much in people's eyes. You can see, I think it's blood pressure and stuff like that. You
Yeah,
can just see by looking at their eyes. I think it's appalling. But then you see the BMA is woke, isn't it?
yes, and blow me down. How did she get a doctor's appointment? Well, because she's probably Asian, and you you can get it
Well, they're
very
now
quickly.
saying, someone in Prime Minister's Question Times today was saying how the waiting list in his region has dropped by something like 14,000. It's utter tosh. You still got people that are like in the corridors trying to be of the hospital trying to be treated. It's no better. Where are these people living?
Well, this program will have raised your blood pressure, folk. It's dedicated to Spain because as we're getting into summer, now we got 30 degrees today. and it will rise to over 40 very shortly, your blood pressure, especially in the morning, goes down. So this program is dedicated to those who want higher blood pressure, because it's very easy to pass out when your blood pressure's low in the early morning. So you know why we do it now.
Brilliant.
Right, we're off. And next time we meet, young lady, will be when you're back in dear old Blight.
Next week, I might be a little tad, sort of jet lagged, a little, but I will be fine.
Your
So,
jet lag
the
is
sun is
completely
coming out
different
now.
from
The sun
any
is
other
coming out
jet
now.
lag I've ever come across in my life. She tries to cure it with copious glasses of wine, and it doesn't work, does it? She calls it jet lag. I've got another word for it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for those kind words.
That's all right.
And I'll see you back in Blighty next week.
Yes, we've named and shamed Starmer. We're having a go at you now.
Well, I wonder what's going to happen every day, every minute of every day. But he's not going to go. But I don't understand why he hasn't been. He's broken the ministerial code. I don't understand why he hasn't actually been told he has to go, taken out, dragging, kicking, and screaming. But whether he'll go after the elections on the 7th of May, that's going to be interesting.
Well, we know why he's not gone, because there's nobody any better. And on those words of wisdom,
Bye-bye for now.
see you later.
Bye.